like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
George, Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Rolling through hour number 1, right into hour number 2. This is the early line on the SportsGrid Network. It's your boy Donnie Rightside along with Joe Ranieri. 1 more hour to go. And also, we got gold medal hockey a little bit later this afternoon for the women's side. And then we await that Sunday morning matchup. Could it be Team Canada? Could it be Team USA? And yesterday, both Team Canada and Team USA had to go through overtime just to advance into the next round. Don't ruin it out there, people. We just talked about golf, which is going to take place today at the Genesis Invitational. Superstars all the way around. And at that competition, Tiger Woods told us there's a possibility he's coming back here to the Masters. The NBA gets back on the court today with double-digit games here. Lines flying all over the place. And also, college basketball in full swing. At the end of the show, best bets will be given out again, which we swept the board once again last night. A big hour number 2 on the early line comes up now, Joe.
Gotta love it, Donnie. We got a lot going on across the sports universe right now, including, get ready, while labor unions and all contracts and all that stuff, they are getting ready to play, spring training baseball, Donnie, here this weekend, and I am all for it.
Spring training, and away we go tomorrow, live Major League Baseball. You're going to love to see that here and enjoy it for what it's worth this season because you are going to get at least a delay next year. Let's get to the early lineup and the hottest topics coming directly from the Winter Olympics. Team USA held a lead of 1-0 for the majority of the game against Sweden until the final moments were Sweden with a beautiful goal to tie it 1-1. They head to extras, which is overtime, 3-on-3. And it was Quinn Hughes, an absolute rocket from the slot. You heard the ping at a post. Bing! Finds the back of the net, and Team USA moves on with a 2-1 victory over Sweden.
Yeah, and listen, it's not going to get any easier, Donnie. I think from here, those, the 10-2s against France, those kinds of things. I think if yesterday showed us anything is that, these guys, they have another gear on these teams, and they're all fighting for pride here. So what we thought was inevitable, we learned yesterday, it might take a little more effort and maybe a little puck luck in order to be able to get Canada versus USA in the gold match.
Czechia gave Canada a scare. By the way, Czechia had the lead late in the third period, only see it tied up, and then a winner in overtime for Team Canada here, but maybe coming with a loss of Sidney Crosby for a game or 2, a game or 3, the entire Olympics, or none at all. Sid, is going to want to get back out there and win a gold medal, or at least try to win a gold medal for Canada, but he's banged up right now with a knee injury.
Yeah, not great. And he was actually playing very well there with them. But yeah, hopefully, though, it's nothing crazy, nothing serious, Donnie, and that, we'll get him back on the ice sooner rather than later. But that was another extremely tense game where a lot of people holding tickets for Canada, boy, there was a big sweat yesterday.
I'll tell you, big sweat here. Rashid Rice and his accountant, his agent, and also the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Another lawsuit's popping through here, suing him for damages on what he did in the past. A checkered past in the NFL? Absolutely. The Chiefs have to be hating this right now because sooner than later, they're going to have to make a decision on whether or not they want this guy to be on their football team.
Yeah, it's basically the same, woman that he has had, issues and have accused him in the past is now taking him to civil court and is seeking $1 million in damages for the alleged acts of physical assault. So once again, Rashid Rice spending way more time dealing with lawyers in courtrooms than actually out on the field for the Chiefs, which is not a good thing for them.
Yeah, by the way, shout out Chiefs players who last year when Rashid Rice was suspended wore shirts on the field saying free Rashid Rice. Maybe it should have been the opposite. Maybe lock Rashid Rice up should have been those jerseys and shirts here for the Kansas City Chiefs. JT Toppin, devastating blow to Texas Tech and their chance to maybe reach a Final Four or win an NCAA championship. An ACL injury is going to end his season for Texas Tech.
Just awful. I mean, it really is. I mean, this was one of the most exciting players. Yep. Another one of these players in college basketball this year that was kind of must watch here. And now on a drive to the basket in a game in which, well, they could have, should have, would have won there. Unfortunately, they didn't. And not only did they not win that game against Arizona State, but he tore his ACL along the way. Just not good here for Arizona State, for Texas Tech, rather.
A Mark Cuban-approved message here from the Sacramento Kings. The tank is on. Zach LaVine and also Sabonis out for the season, getting surgeries on what? Who knows if they even get the surgeries, but you got to put that out there and away they go. Repair a tendon in his hand. How about that?
It's funny, Donnie, because there are probably some people who haven't followed the NBA or Sacramento all year long and are probably like, wait a minute, were they even playing? Because I don't ever remember seeing them out on the court. They played like once every sixth game as it was, but now we're shutting them down. I love it.
Let me ask you a question about Zach LaVine, Joe. This is one of those players where fans, oh my God, let's make a trade for this guy. Teams can't wait to get rid of this guy. And all he does is make a ton of money. It seems like teams either A, don't want him on their team or don't want him playing so they can tank. This guy's had an interesting career in the NBA.
When he's on the court, which isn't a lot, Donnie, yes, the guy is a stat monster. I mean, the guy absolutely is good for 30 points a night. But the problem is, once he gives you that effort, he's either hurt, something else. You won't see him for another 4 games, Donnie. That's what. But boy, oh boy, talk about the money you're going to have to pay this guy to get what? Maybe 40 games out of him a season is just, it's ludicrous. It really is.
I mean, if you're an NBA team that's tanking here and you want to get a player, like you probably should get Darren Peterson here because he'll come and tank for you every single game. You don't even know if that guy's going to play. He might be the king of the tank when it's all said and done. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, Patrick, would you like more of your money now or do you want to wait for your money? I'll take more of it now. Awesome. You're going to help the team out here. Here's this pen. Sign this. We'll give you a ton of money, and then we'll free up $43.56 million in salary cap space to get you some help. Player gets his money. Team gets its cap space.
Well, it's interesting, right? He gets hurt. Now maybe he's starting the reality of it, Donnie. Like, listen, you're not going to be playing forever here, my man. So now's the time. Free up some of that money and let them go out and get you some players so you can make another run at this thing.
Exactly. I mean, again, like, hey, Patrick Mahomes being a team player, is he? They just said, do you want all of your money now? Yes. That's like saying if you won the lottery, hey, buddy, would you like it spread out over 20 years? No, I want the lump sum right now to make some money on it, you fool. That's what's taking place right now at Kansas City. He's getting his money, freeing up cap space. Maybe they can take a run at another championship and keep that window open as long as possible. Joe, In the American landscape of things, right? And sometimes it's old man yelling at cloud. Food just seems like it tasted better in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Prices were cheap. We're social media, right? Like, hey, went to McDonald's, spent $15 on a Big Mac meal. Hey, what if I told you in 1994 when I was in high school, that Big Mac meal was $2.99? Same thing with the jerseys here. Ooh, nice concept. Boy, it feels heavy. Looks like it's hand-stitched here. What a beautiful product at a great price here. Fanatics takes over and goes, you'll get what you like, and it'll be the cheapest. But that doesn't stop here, Joe. That's also with the actual team-approved apparel that they wear. Don't you remember the Major League Baseball pants where they made basically see-through and nobody could figure it out? I mean, come on now.
Yep.
But Fanatics, I saw that Boston Red Sox jersey. It did look off here. Stop the madness.
Yeah, it's they're the. If it ain't broke, Donnie, like, why are we fixing it? Like, seriously, like, what are we doing here? Like, just let things be. Nobody complained about it. It's not an issue. Like, what are we doing? And by the way, if you think you're complaining about that, Red Sox fan, wait till you actually start playing baseball and you find yourself, picking up the rear in the American League East. Then you're really going to have something to complain about.
The see-through pants, man, get you every single time. By the way, Joe, like announced over the weekend here was that Netflix fight between Rousey and Carano. I didn't realize Carano hasn't fought since 2009. I think Rousey is from 2014. But also, Joe, they have to go through extensive testing before they actually get to the fight themselves. If we have those odds markets up, Joe, does this fight actually take place?
Well, I think Dana White turning it down told you everything you need to know about the chance of this thing actually happening, because he'd have been all over that if he thought it was actually going to take place.
Or is it too much money on the table? Remember, like Manny Pacquiao said, hey, bro, I know you threw your shoulder out and you can't move it. Go fight. Get the money here. And we all found out after the fight, like, that ain't happening. Too much money. You force things to happen. We'll be right back.
Like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Oh, Winter Olympics hockey has been really good. Did you watch yesterday? 4 games. 3 of those games at the Olympics went to overtime with countries hanging on the edge here. I'm Donnie Rightside along with Joe Ranieri. Let's bring in Troy Perlowitz. We got to talk some hockey, Troy. It's been sensational, just the way we anticipated.
I can't even, what a day for hockey, right? It was peak hockey moment. I think we'll always look back at February 18th and remember where we were when we were watching those 4 games. 3 of them, like you said, went to overtime. Just an incredible day for the sport.
It was so much fun, Troy. And the funny part about it is, depending on like what nation you live in, right? Like Team USA, it's like, we want to play Canada in the final. Canada's like, we want to play US in the final. Then Canada's down. You're like, oh, good, I hope they lose, but you don't want them to lose. And then Canada's like, oh, I hope the U.S. loses, but we don't want them to lose. But you saw it yesterday. Just as watching this game in the middle of the afternoon, Team USA playing great defense. Hellebuck was fantastic in goal. And then it happened with about a minute to go. Sweden scores like, oh, no, Troy. They're going to get them in overtime here. But my goodness, Quinn Hughes, a sensational 3-on-3 overtime goal, pushes Team USA through against Sweden. What did you think about that game, Troy?
So Donnie, let me tell you a quick story first. I went on my honeymoon last summer. I went to Greece on my honeymoon.
Yep.
For anyone who knows Greece, very dry country. There's not a lot of water, let alone ice. But I step into a cab in Greece and get to talking to the cab driver, ask what you do for a living, tell him that I work at the NHL, and he's like, oh, the Kachuk brothers, Canada and the US, they from the 4 nations, they know the rivalry. I think they wanted it too. And yes, it's exactly what went through my mind. I was watching those games yesterday is, we've been talking about this rivalry for the last year since the 4 nations, and they met in the championship game, and Canada, won in overtime on a Connor McDavid goal. We've been talking about this rivalry for a year. It would be so disappointing not to see them meet again in the gold medal game. But there's always a part of me that, the cream's going to rise to the top. These are clearly the 2 best teams in the tournament. It's not that close. I'm not saying that either of them can't lose in the semifinals, but it's the 2 superpowers in the world. I think everybody wants to see them face off in the outside of Finland and Slovakia today. I think everybody wants to see Canada and the United States face off against each other on that Sunday morning gold medal game.
All right, so be honest now. Have Maple Leafs forgiven Mitch Marner now after yesterday? Did he rewrite his narrative and his legacy here yesterday?
Big game Mitch. He scored a huge game for Canada against Sweden in the 4 Nations tournament, and he won it in overtime. He's scored a couple of huge goals for the Maple Leafs before going to the Golden Knights this offseason. Yeah, I think it's time to forgive Mitch Marner. I think he's a really big game player. I think the moniker on him has been totally unearned. He's a really strong player, and he's playing. His line mate Sidney Crosby went out with an injury, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I think Mitch Marner is a huge player for the Canadians coming down the stretch here as we get into the semifinals, because he plays with Mark Stone, who's his teammate with the Vegas Golden Knights, and plays a really crucial role. He could be on that second power play unit and be a secondary scorer, especially if Canada loads up with Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, and Macklin Celebrini on that first line.
And by the way, Troy, too, these kids growing up here always want to put on that jersey. The Maple Leaf there for Canada and Team USA, the USA across the stripes. It wasn't even fluke goals. They were sensational overtime goals in each respect there. Breakaway, top shelf here. Another one ripped off the post into the back of the net. They were so much fun to watch, which then leads us to even more hockey. The men take a day off here, at least, as we take a look at Finland, Canada, and Slovakia and the United States on Friday. Let's start Finland and Canada, Troy. Heavy favorite, rightfully so, for Canada. Sidney Crosby also diagnosed with an injury. Not sure when he's going to appear. Talk about Sidney Crosby's injury and also Finland and Canada for you.
Yeah, so here's the thing with Crosby's injury. If he doesn't play, I know a lot of fans are going to want Canada to. So Canada has loaded up before with this top line of Celebrini, McDavid, and McKinnon, who, by the way, are 1, 2, and 4 in points in the NHL this season. I don't think they could do that without Sidney Crosby being there in the lineup. It creates too much of a hole in their third line center position. If they do that, I think they probably want to keep a little bit balanced. And obviously, if the situation arises, they're down by a goal late in the game, I think you could always press that nuclear button option and get those 3 players on the ice. But without Crosby, you're going to ask either Bo Horvat or Joe, your boy Sam Bennett could come off the schneid and fill in there too. I think Canada, look, they're going to be fine in terms of is the talent level. getting through the neutral zone might be a little bit tougher without a puck possessor like Crosby himself, but Canada should be fine. They're going to be heavy favorite, like that you just showed the graphic. They're huge favorites against Finland, and they should be. They have so much more talent than the Finns do. Finland, give them respect. They won the gold medal, and when the last time they were Olympics played, but they weren't NHL players in that tournament. There are NHL players now. I expect Canada. I think, when you have a tough situation like they were losing the entire game against Czechia and most of that third period as well. And you kind of galvanize yourselves and have a huge emotional win like that. It could always galvanize you and group you together. And I think Canada comes back with their best effort against Finland, because they're hungry for a game against the United States just as much as we are.
Looks like Team USA going to have to bring the same defensive mindset here, with Slovakia scoring how many goals against Germany. I thought they were a little conservative there in that third period. What do they got to do here?
I think that's kind of the play style. That's if there's one team that could win a 1-0 game in this tournament, it's definitely the United States. They have a strong goaltender in Connor Hellebuck. That you mentioned Quinn Hughes, but Jake Sanderson, Zach Werenski, these are elite defensemen in the NHL. They're great players. I think they're built to win low-scoring games, and they could do that. They're going to have to do that against the Canadians if that's the matchup in the gold medal game, so might as well start it now.
Troy, we take a look today. We do have an appetizer on deck. Women's ice hockey gold medal game. Team USA taking on Team Canada. 1:10 start. The U.S. heavily favored. Did the Team USA knock off Canada today? Or do we see an upset at the Olympics?
I like the Americans here. They played a couple days ago, and America won that game 5-0. Canada was missing one of their best players in Poulin, who's a really elite player in the PWHL. But I think the Americans, they haven't given up a goal in 6 games. I think they take it home and win the gold.
Yeah. Troy Perlowitz talking hockey with us on the early line. That's a gold medal. Thanks, Troy. We'll be back right after this break.
You had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6, and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5, and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You have we don't know we're going to play an arbitration for our top pitcher in school ball. He gets the $30 million. You go and get Valdez, who's 32 years old, and you pay him 3 years, $115. Now you have a legitimate 1-2 punch and still have Flaherty in that lineup as well. If you're looking at a move singularly that I didn't expect to happen here and loved it, Detroit's move to get Framber Valdez, sensational for me.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
One check, one stroke of a pen, $43 million that you now have to spend in free agency. Ain't it fun?
Yeah, you take the money out of the left pocket, you put it in the right pocket, basically, Donnie. But you also free up the ability to be able to sign other players. Nobody did this better than the Patriots and Tom Brady in his career, right?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Time to get down to the business here. Most of us, Joe, watch the regular season college basketball and thoroughly enjoy it. Did you know there's regular season champions? Yes, you do. But more importantly, we always look to the conference championships once they get to the tournament, because why? That's the automatic bid that's up in the air. You don't get an automatic bid, which I know it sounds backwards. Hey, I just played 18 games with the best team in conference. Okay, great. Let's get to the conference tournament. Oh, no, I didn't win that. Yeah, you're no longer the conference champion. Wait a second. I won the yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's only the 3 games that you play, not the 30 games that you play before it here. But it is what it is in the Big East. It is going to be competitive. But it seems like, Joe, we're coming down to 2 teams here in the predictive markets that you need to take a look at. On Polymarket, trading at 87 cents right now. It's St. John's. UConn trading at 76 cents now. They got beat last night by Creighton here. St. John's, UConn, the 2 favorites in this marketplace, Joe.
Yeah, and listen, truth be told, Donnie, I mean, I had Creighton yesterday. It was my best bet here on the show because UConn has been overvalued the entire year. But them losing that game outright, Donnie, I think might be the best thing to happen to Hurley and that team, because better they do that now than, come the first or second round of March Madness here. I'd rather get that out of the way. Kind of brings them back down to reality. So, yeah, I think St. John's is in that same boat where they're playing with fire and they're playing with their food a lot here. That game was much closer than it should have been yesterday. So, yeah, I think UConn still got some value ultimately to come back and finish out the regular season strong and take the title.
Yeah, sometimes taking a loss like that, the coach gets to reinvent himself in practice. You wanted to do it your own way. Well, see where that got you. Yep. Now we're going to do it my way at this point. We'll see if Hurley can take the boys here. Regular season, not championship once you get to the Big East tournament, which is phenomenal at Madison Square Garden. Let's get to another Polymarket access point here. 2026 FIFA World Cup winner. This is interesting, Joe, because there's $163 million of volume on Polymarket with this. Spain is actually trading at 17% right now as the favorites, with 2.1 million of volume backing them. Do you know who number 2 is? That's England at 14% trading at $1.5 million backing them. But then you slide it down. Portugal, $5.4 million backing them, only 7%. And then you take a look and slide it down. Morocco, $4 million backing them at 2% here, Joe. So sometimes you say, well, follow the money. The money's not leading us in the right direction here. Money's going all over the place.
Which tells me, Donnie, that it is truly wide open this year, is it not? It really does feel like it could be anybody's game this year, which, I mean, at this point, why not? Why not take a shot down the board? I mean, some of those numbers you're talking about here, I mean, we know everyone, Spain, England, France, right? We all know they're going to be the favorites here, but I don't know. Maybe there's a market or a team that we can go a little further down the list. Maybe they win a couple of games they shouldn't, and next thing you know, Donnie, we're sitting on a pretty good investment that we can cash out before anything happens.
Again, like Spain's $2.1 million at 17%, far and away the favorite here. And then I slide all the way down. You got countries like South Korea at 1% with over $4 million of trading. Scotland, who's under 1%, $4.9 million here. New Zealand, $8.7 million at this point. Now, understand this. Well, Donnie, what idiots paid $8.7 million or into that fund at that point? All you're saying is if they qualify, get there and win a game or move on into the next round, that's a minted ticket right there. So you're not saying like, you dummy, you wasted your money. It's not about winning the tournament itself. It's about advancing and having a better ticket for yourself. That's what people are paying for right now. Stanley Cup champion coming down. It looks like the 3 teams here, Joe, in the marketplace at Kalshi. Colorado trading at 24%. The Lightning trading at 17%. And the Carolina Hurricanes sitting at 11% here. Those 3 are the favorites.
And they should be, right? I mean, Carolina's there every year and never gets anything done. They can't get past Florida. But Tampa is poised to make a run here, Donnie. And I know it's easy to look at what Colorado is doing right now and crown them already. But I think Vasilevsky and the Tampa Bay Lightning might have something to say about that.
How about that? And also, if you're watching and you're cheering on today, the gold medal game, USA versus Canada on Kalshi, 81% chance for USA here, 19% chance for Canada. So if you take Canada in this game, right, Canada goes up 1-0, which would be a miracle because I think USA is going to have like 1 goal in the entire tournament, it feels like. Is there any way, Joe, to take Canada on a contract try to make some money today. What do you think?
No, absolutely not. No,
Sit this one out?
I would even go under. I say they get shut out again, Donnie. Has that? I say they don't get one goal again.
It's got the vibes like the 92 Dream Team for the men's at the Olympics in basketball. They're just killing everybody. Team USA, a runaway victory? We'll find out a little bit later today. We'll be right back.
Had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. In similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You have like, oh, well, we don't know we're going to play an arbitration for our top pitcher in school ball. He gets the $30 million. You go and get Valdez, who's 32 years old, and you pay 3 years, $115. Now you have a legitimate 1-2 punch and still have Flaherty in that lineup as well. If you're looking at a move singularly that I didn't expect to happen here and loved it, Detroit's move to get Framber Valdez, sensational for me.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
One check, one stroke of a pen, $43 million that you now have to spend in free agency. Ain't it fun?
Yeah, you take the money out of the left pocket, you put it in the right pocket, basically, Donnie. But you also free up the ability to be able to sign other players. Nobody did this better than the Patriots and Tom Brady in his career, right?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
NFL news and notes. We love talking about the NFL, even though we're in a quiet period right now. Who's going to get tagged? Who's not going to get tagged? Free agency. Before you know it, it's going to be the combine, then the draft, then you're going to have OTAs. Then you show up there at training camp, and then Joe and I are going to say, like, what a great game. It's going to be Seattle versus whoever in that Thursday night opener at this point. We're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, Brian Dable's like, you know what? A little bit of self-reflection might be good. Let's hear from Brian Dable.
I'm curious what your self-reflection process was like post-Giants and leading to now to where you said this was the exact position and place you wanted to be.
I think, look, this is my 26th year in the National Football League going into it. You do that every year at whatever stop you're at. I think the most important thing is to be where your feet are at. And it's here at Tennessee, you know, tighten up, as they say. I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of things I've learned away, whether it was a defensive assistant, a quarterback coach, a receiver coach. You try to do a better job in the next place you're at. And my role is to try to, you know, help our football team be the best offense we can be under the direction of Robert, which I think is very important to take the lead from the head coach. So, again, we're excited. I think all the coaches downstairs are excited. I did tell Randy Jordan, I said I would get up here and say the sole reason why I came to Tennessee is because Randy Jordan was the running back coach. So I wanted to put that out for him.
Good old Brian Dable out there. Now, the only question is, did he get the approval that he can go into the blue tent whenever he wants if Cam Ward's getting checked for a concussion? Was that worked out in this contract or no?
I don't think you're going to see him much on the sideline this year, Donnie, which is not a bad thing because apparently he doesn't look like he's missed too many meals since he was fired. So the buffet is up in the press box. So he looks like he can absolutely enjoy himself up there anyway. And it might be a little rough go early on for Tennessee as it is.
By the way, Brian Dable got the Patrick Mahomes treatment, though. Hey, here's a pen and paper. We're going to fire you. But would it be okay to give you your final 2 or 3 years contract right now in your bank account? Sure, why not? I'll go work. And I love where they say, like, this is exactly where I wanted to be in Tennessee. Yeah, with the worst team in the professional ranks here. Congratulations. That's exactly where coaches want to go. Let's get over to DraftKings here. Over-under win totals have been released. 10.5. Now, hold on now. This is interesting, Joe. You see, and again, some people can't see the fine print up there. The Ravens 10.5, Bills 10.5. You get the point. Rams, Lions, and the NFC get the point. They're all 10.5, Joe. So we don't have any of these 12.5s or 13.5s in the 17-game season. Are we expecting the most mediocre year in history of the NFL? Is that what I'm saying?
That could very well be, but I would imagine, Donnie, once these markets start to gain a little more traction, that we'll start to see those numbers rise and fall from some teams as we get a little bit closer. And I think the draft is going to affect those numbers as well, Donnie. Some of those teams, I think, are going to have a, if they nail it in the draft, and except for quarterback, we all know there aren't too many of those, but there are a lot of other positions available for teams. Might be 11.5, maybe even 12.5 before it's all said and done.
You want to play the name game with me, Joe? You ready for this one? I'm going to give you, this is going to be a new game show on the network. I'm going to give you a name. You name the industry of this person. This name, Rod Wood. What industry, Joe?
Acting.
Now, see,
Hollywood,
we're on the
entertainment.
We're on the same wavelength right out here. Maybe the the Silicon Valley out there and whatever you can do. Rod Wood, no, he's actually going to retire as the Detroit Lions team president, CEO, Joe. Wrong industry. Okay. Rod Wood is a Detroit Lion. He doesn't work out of somewhere in California.
That's I would have not guessed that, Donnie, at all. But kudos to him for going out. Yeah. Yes, turning that Detroit team around there over the last 5 years. Well done.
There you go. Team cap hits for 2026 as it's for now. And by the way, individual players, Joe. Deshaun Watson has not played. You can he has not played really for Cleveland. He's going to count another $81 million against their cap to not play football. Unbelievable. Lamar Jackson, 74.5. Dak Prescott, which again is unbelievable as well. Restructure these guys. What is going on out here? You can't be paying players $75 million a year against your cap. At least you get Pro Bowl caliber football. Deshaun Watson, $81 million. And he's probably not going to play a snap for them.
And serves the Haslams. It serves them right. I mean, you're the one who brought in this train wreck to begin with. You're the one who overpaid them. You should have to pay the consequence. Unfortunately, so do the Cleveland Brown fans. But the reality is, well, listen, if we can give the rest of Mahomes, right, all his money up front and free up the cap money, can't you just write him a check and let him go away? I don't know what they're doing here, Donnie.
I don't know. Exactly. You figure like if you're going to eat the cap money, you got to pay the guy. It's all guaranteed. You should have dumped them like 3 years ago, the minute that the trouble came down with all the injuries and say, you know what, we're a better football team. Let's move forward. But the fact that are you going to let him in camp? Hey, Todd Monkey, you going to let him in camp? Is going to work out here? You don't want him anywhere around that organization. And he still counts that much money. Is certainly incredible at this point. Wyatt Teller, if you want to be a Cleveland Brown quarterback, you want him on your team. He's like, nah, peace out. I'm a free agent. I ain't coming back.
Yeah, I don't. Can we blame him? Absolutely not. What are you coming back to? I mean, you've already had to deal with the dysfunction that is the Browns. I don't blame him. Get out and find some place that you can actually win a few games at.
And by the way, like, when is too much at this point where you can just bleed the stone dry? Like the Bears last year bumped up 10% for the season tickets here. The Bears this year going up by 13.5%. When is too much where it just comes like, I'm just going to sit at home on my couch and not be charged anything and enjoy my day, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'll see it because there'll be a lot of empty seats in that stadium, Donnie, and then you'll know when the line has been drawn in the sand. And for those kinds of prices, Donnie, you better be winning games because fans don't want to pay that kind of money and then watch a losing product. So they better make sure they run the table here.
By the way, I remember before the Super Bowl, an insider broke a report that goes, hey, by the way, Seattle Seahawks are going up for sale. And the Seattle organization goes, this is ridiculous. What kind of stupid topic is this? Absolutely not. No comment here. Only to be found out the day after the Super Bowl. Yes, they are up for sale here, but here's what I can't get over. They could sell for as much as $10 billion on the open market, and every single dime of that is going to go to philanthropy. That's amazing here. How about that? SportsGrid Network, host on air. How about that? Is that philanthropy we can get out of this organization here for Paul G. Allen? Come on, send some over here.
Listen, outstanding. I applaud them there, but we could certainly have time to open up a new charity, Donnie, and see if we can apply for some of those billions of dollars that is about to be made by selling that team. Talk about sell high. My goodness, it doesn't get any better for Seattle than this.
Joe, imagine having so much money that you can just be like, yeah, $10 billion, I don't need it. I'm just going to give that thing away at this point. Amazing stuff. Hopefully it goes to the people that need it and gets certainly some good uses here. I'll tell you what are going to be some uses. You want frequent flyer mileage? You got them, San Francisco 49ers. Front Office Sports tweets out, the 49ers will travel an NFL record 38,000 round-trip miles during the 2026 season. Handicappers see this right away, Joe, and that seems like it might be the ultimate fade team for 2026.
Donnie, we talk about it every year, right? That's part of travel schedules for the NFL and teams. And we saw it last year, right? I think the Rams racked up the most miles having to fly from East Coast to West Coast, then overseas, then back again. Well, it looks like it's the 49ers' turn next year. That is a ridiculous amount of travel going on for a football team.
Better have the hyperbaric chambers on the planes or do something at this point. At least it's not the Buffalo Bills traveling where the coaches sit in first class and everybody gets angry behind them at this point here. You're going to see some of those grades come back and how well these organizations treated their players this year, specifically talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Because what says great NFL football like, oh, we're away this week? Yeah, you're away in Australia. Good luck with that. Oh, man, you know what? It's nice not playing in elevation. We're going to send you to Mexico City, one of the highest elevated points in North America at this point, and have you play there. Enjoy it as it comes here, Joe. The times are changing in the NFL, and we just got to keep the people up to date. That's what we do on the early line. We have fun, and also in just a few segments here, we're going to win some more money tonight, college basketball. You betcha, baby. It's Joe and Donnie in the morning. We'll be right back.
On SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Not only do you have like, oh, well, we don't know we're going to play an arbitration for our top pitcher in school ball. He gets the $30 million. You go and get Valdez, who's 32 years old, and you pay 3 years, $115. Now you have a legitimate 1-2 punch and still have Flaherty in that lineup as well. If you're looking at a move singularly that I didn't expect to happen here and loved it, Detroit's move to get Framber Valdez, sensational for me.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
One check, one stroke of a pen, $43 million that you now have to spend in free agency. Ain't it fun?
Yeah, you take the money out of the left pocket, you put it in the right pocket, basically, Donnie. But you also free up the ability to be able to sign other players. Nobody did this better than the Patriots and Tom Brady in his career, right?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Thursday right now. It's the primetime slot in the morning, as we like to call it. Why? Because the fun is just about to begin. It's Donnie Rightside, it's Joe Ranieri, and here we go. It's Cam Stewart live. Even if we're going to call him Troy Perlowitz, it doesn't matter. That's Cam Stewart. That's who I'm going with here. Let's go, Cam.
Hey, Donnie, what's happening? Joe, always a pleasure seeing you guys. And yeah, what do you got? Olympic hockey fever? All these teams, 3 out of the 4 going to overtime? Going to stress out your fan bases, that's for sure. Canada overtime, and then Finland comes back, and even the USA, Hellebuck with a late goal, and they beat Sweden in overtime. The favorite's getting it done. But if you're betting these puck lines, guys, you're making a hell of a lot of money with these underdogs. But we have ladies hockey today. As we mentioned, guys, at the start a couple weeks ago, we already have tickets on the United States. And as Prime Minister, I have to be fair in my negotiations with NAFTA, with Mexico, Canada, and the United States. I would take the United States women, guys, laying a puck and a half against Canada right now. They're just simply better. Watching all of their games, they're just faster. They're unreal. Like that game against Sweden, don't let the final score fool you. If it wasn't for Sweden's goalie, who they shouldn't have pulled, the goalie was standing on her head. Like it could have been like 12-0. Canada had a little bit of problems with Switzerland. They ran into a hot goalie. So, guys, that total is kind of interesting because I think America might win 5-1, 5-2, but they don't give up goals. You've seen how good this American defense and goaltending is. They're absolutely dominating teams right now. So I don't know if it's a parlay piece, but Team USA women, I think will get it done and probably win by at least 2 goals against Canada. I have a lean to the over, but it's pretty tough because the goaltending on both sides is pretty good.
Could be an appetizer, Cam, to what we get on Sunday morning. We'll certainly get to that here. But also, we know you love your golf, and we got a sensational field this week. Colin Morikawa, after roughly 900 days, birdies the 18th hole in the wind, and the delay was phenomenal to watch. How does it play into this week, Cam, and what are we looking at for the Genesis?
Oh, it's interesting. I was on with Joe last week, and I'm like, wow, look at my guy, Jacob Bridgman, to hit one in the ocean. And, Colin Morikawa, hey, Kurt, Kurt's brother, Kurt Kitayama, can I borrow your putter? Can't have it back. It's the first time I hit over a 20-footer, so that's his putter now. You can call it robbery, whatever, but Morikawa's not giving it back. Riviera, guys, really interesting tournament. We saw what happened with Scotty Scheffler again, just out of the gate, just right around last, and he works his way. And if there's a couple more holes and weather picked up, guys, he probably would have won that golf tournament. So always dangerous, always lurking. But you know what, guys, Joe, I got to tell you something too. I'm going to Rory this week, and it's one of those things that I found 14-1, and people were like, Cam, why are you on Rory? Well, for a lot of reasons. Double bogey avoidance last week. Like if he can just find ways to minimize doubles and triples, he would have won last week. Like he's absolutely crushing the par 5s. The putter gets a little bit wonky, but I can get Scheffler at 3, or I can get Rory at 14. I know a couple other people had boosts. Like I found at one place had a 16, but I love Rory this week. And Joe, you guys know Riviera, a little bit longer, no water, no tricks, no frills. It's one of those things. It's a golf player, a shot maker's golf course. Not screwing around. Rory McIlroy, huge advantage off the tee with that driver, so I'm taking him. Also, a couple other guys. Sepp Straka almost backdoored a win last week. You're telling me this guy's like 55-1. I'm taking him. Hovland looks really good to me. He's starting to come into form in one course. This guy will really break your heart. But Patrick Cantlay, he talks about Riviera. He talks about this being one of his favorite tournaments. And Cantlay is an absolute machine here in this tournament. I will take him at 28-1, guys. Top 10 markets. Rory, you're going to give me even money, plus 105 for a top 10. I'm in. Tommy Fleetwood last week really was dialed in with the irons. He looked fantastic for another top 5, top 10 performance, plus 150. And an interesting player in Aubert, what's he going to do? He didn't play well on Friday and Saturday, but on Sunday, he really picked it up. And at 250 for a top 10, I'm in. First round leaders, guys, what are we going to do? We're going to go to Colin Morikawa. Ride the hot hand. I don't think he's going to beat Rory or Scheffler this week, but we're going to ride the hot tournament win into a 30-1 for a first round leader. Jake Afternoon Knapp, he's the epitome of Thursday. This guy always at the top of the leaderboard. Can we clip him at 35? Patrick Rogers, another Thursday, Friday, early round guy at 66-1 from Stanford, knows this course well. And Max Gracerman, he's another guy. Joe, you see him every week. He's kind of like lingering at the top and then, So I'm just going to take these Thursday Warriors for my first round leaders, 75-1 for the Duke product in Max Gracerman. Let's get it done today, guys. We need to win some money and roll it into some hockey. And then we got the NBA coming back tonight, too, and college basketball. Favorite time of the year, March Madness right around the corner, and the Masters. And baseball.
And baseball, too, this week, and that's right. And Cam, and I can't believe it, but I looked it up today. You got Scottie Scheffler has gone back-to-back tournaments where Thursday he absolutely blows up, shoots into 70s. Right now, the only place I can find him as a first-round leader is in double digits, 11-1. I mean, the guy is almost 3-1 to win the tournament, but I can get him as a first-round leader in double digits. Does this keep going? Does he shoot 70 and have to come back? I mean, what do we do here?
That's a really smart look, Joe, because one of these days he's just going to wake up and say, what the hell am I doing? Why am I starting in like 89th or 126 in a full field event? Why can't I just go out there and shoot and go wire to wire? That's the whole thing. You're getting 11 instead of 3. And I do a show when Mike Carver and I talk about it. That's his approach too, but he just hasn't been doing it this year. But Joe, you're never going to, if you get double digits on Scheffler in any type of situation with a first round leader, that's very, very tempting. You know me, I'm going for guys that have done it before, but Scheffler just might wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to fire 62 and be a first-round leader and maybe hold it into the weekend and dominate this tournament Tiger Woods style and win by 13, right? So it could happen. It's, you know what, Joe, it's a really good way of looking at it. And guys, if you do like Scheffler, you could take that number. But the way I see it too, hopefully, you know, other than really leading this golf tournament, you're probably going to get that number. Can you guys believe at one point, 13 strokes down, he was 80-1 on Bet365. I put 20, 30 bucks on it, and I'm sitting there going, man, if there was a couple more holes and the wind picked up at Pebble, I'd win this golf tournament. That's the whole thing. I don't know if he's going to do that every week. It's a bad way to be, but he's so damn good. He backpedals his way into top 3s and top 5s, and if he starts off hot, the rest of the field better be absolutely going bananas and scared because he could go wire to wire. This guy's unbelievable what he's doing.
Ken, we're not going to talk to you again before Sunday, but Finland, Canada tomorrow morning, and then Slovakia, USA. Do we get the cup final that we want to see in the Olympics here? All right.
We do. Slovakia has been amazing, guys, but I think the USA takes care of business. That line is way out of whack, and Finland will give Canada problems, but that's what the networks wants. That's what we want. Hockey fans want. Canada versus USA on Sunday. A lot of fun. If you want to do a super parlay, USA women, Canada men, USA men, that one's about $1.35, $1.40. You're going to have to lay some juice, but these puck lines are nuts.
Cash it in with Cam Stewart. Thanks for rising and grinding this with us on a Thursday, Tim. We'll talk to you next week here for Joe and Donnie. We're going to close it down in style next.
Had the over in U.S. Latvia. That literally was, I don't like the term bad beat, but it's a bad beat when you have 2 goals overturned in the first period alone and you outshoot a team like 300-6 and you can't get it over. You can't get it over 6.5 and the game finishes 5-1. And similar situation with Germany and Denmark.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Do you have like, oh, well, we don't know we're going to play an arbitration for our top pitcher in schoolbowl. He gets the $30 million. You go and get Valdez, who's 32 years old, and you pay 3 years, $115. Now you have a legitimate 1-2 punch and still have Flaherty in that lineup as well. If you're looking at a move singularly that I didn't expect to happen here and loved it, Detroit's move to get Framber Valdez, sensational for me.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
One check, one stroke of a pen, $43 million that you now have to spend in free agency. Ain't it fun?
Yeah, you take the money out of the left pocket, you put it in the right pocket, basically, Donnie. But you also free up the ability to be able to sign other players. Nobody did this better than the Patriots and Tom Brady in his career, right?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Did you have fun yet on the show? Did you enjoy your time with us on the show here? This is what we want to give you, the information you need to go around the water cooler, have some more fun with your friends, and be a more responsible handicapper, Joe. But also, we still like to get into the hot topics as we go late in the show. How about this topic? Breaking. Conor McGregor revealed in a now-deleted tweet that he's been offered an opponent and a date for his UFC return and has accepted the offer. This man is an absolute flat-out genius. He has nothing on the table, no contracts written, but just wants to get back into the news. Is the guy ever going to fight again, Joe, Conor McGregor? Let me being serious here.
No, I mean, why are we even offering him anything to come back and fight? Like, nobody wants to see him. It's amazing to me, but they have zero fighters right now in the UFC that can kind of move the needle like he can. You know, it's like the Tiger Woods situation here. Like, the thought of Tiger playing a tournament. Of course, it's a ratings bonanza. It would be an absolute gold mine for the UFC, but is that really what we want to see, Donnie? I don't know.
When was the last time he actually was supposed to fight? Like, it seems like we've been down this path for 10 years. Like
Michael Chandler,
yeah,
and he wouldn't take the drug test. Yeah,
yep.
Exactly.
Inked for next June. Great, never comes by, but yet he's in the in the press, and it sells more alcohol, whatever it does. I don't know, but Conor McGregor coming back to the UFC. If Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey aren't coming back to the UFC, why doesn't he just go fight look? You can put on your own fight with Netflix here. It doesn't have to be UFC. Why? He doesn't want to actually get back in the ring. That's what the appearance is here. Let's reach out to the people, Joe, and see what they thought today on our Fade the Public poll. To play or not to play? Hey, you know what? You have that chance each and every night you go out there. And quite frankly, the Kansas Jayhawks feels like they're like, hey, is our superstar playing, or doesn't he want to play tonight? Or what's going on? Is he sick? Oh, no, he's actually cramping tonight. The question we asked, Joe, should NBA teams take a chance on Darren Peterson? Yes or no, way too inconsistent. 58% live, Joe. No, way too inconsistent.
Well, he's perfect for the NBA, right? Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you get. How is he any different than the guys that we have talked about? Like, when he's on, he's all world. When all of a sudden he's getting cramps and he does this, I can't play. He is the poster child for load management in the NBA. So, yeah, they are absolutely going to take a shot with him because you see, Donnie, when he's engaged and actually healthy enough, he's a game changer. So somebody in the NBA is going to overpay him and take a shot with him.
And if Mark Cuban has anything out of his franchise, will be tanking somehow to try to get Darren Peterson as well. Let's get to those best bets of the day. Sweep yesterday, looking for a sweep today. Here's bye. Bring it, Joe. What do you got?
Well, Donnie, I'm going to head down to Tampa here, and I'm going to look at this Memphis and South Florida game here in the American Athletic. And listen, it could not go any worse for Memphis than what it's been like here over the last couple of weeks. They take a trip, take on a non-conference foe in Utah State, get blown out, and then Penny Hardaway is complaining about how dare you leave the starters in the game up 30 with 4 minutes left. Then he just threw off one of his senior leaders on the bench, threw him off the team. They're bringing another guy back. It is an absolute mess for Memphis. Having said that, Donnie, they're only a half a game out of second place right now, and that's going to matter because their only shot at making it to March Madness would be to win the conference tournament. So the higher the seeding, the better. This feels like a buy low spot and a very desperate Memphis team taking on the first place South Florida team. So I'll take the 8.5 points here, hold my nose, but I think Memphis, you'll get a really good effort from them tonight.
And by the way, the NBA is coming back tonight. Interesting, where you don't know really what you're going to get from either side. So I went back also, Joe, to college basketball tonight. LIU taking on St. Francis. And according to Ken Pom, St. Francis is a 356th ranked team here. Not a good one, but interesting. In conference play, they actually have a decent offense, but LIU's defense, number one in efficiency, number one in effective field goal percentage, number one at defending the three-point line, and number two at chasing you off of the three-point line. So if you look at St. Francis's offense here, they actually can shoot the three-point shot, but the strength of the defense for LIU is defending it and chasing you off of that. And also understand this, they don't shoot free throws all that well. So we're going back to the well with what we saw yesterday. How about St. Francis PA's team total under 69.5? We're going with it, Joe. Sounds like a 2-0 college basketball night once again for the boys. Punching tickets until we get to Friday, where Friday is payday. Joe Ranieri, Donnie Rightside, another show in the can. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.